plaintiff, Heather Vidrine, believes before her brother was murdered, he had an affair with the defendant's mother, and he could be the defendant's father. Heather is desperate to find out if the defendant is her niece, so she petitioned the court for a DNA test. Defendant Bobby Potter says she just found out about her alleged father when Heather reached out to her on social media last year, and she was shocked because she believed another man was her father. So Bobby is eager to find out the truth today.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
And you ladies are seeking a DNA test, which you've taken, to determine whether you all are blood related. And so we're going to start with you, ma'am.
I petitioned the court because I believe Bobby is my niece via my deceased brother. Her mother and my mother used to be very good friends before Bobby was even born. Her mother was actually a friend of mine as well. I'd like to say that. My mom was about 20 years older than Donna's mom and would take her in when, she'd get in a fight with her boyfriend, they'd drink and she'd leave them and she'd come stay with us. And my mom would try to help her get back on her feet and leave him. And she'd eventually go back to him, blah, blah, blah. But one of the times she was staying with us, she had sex with one of my brothers, actually took his virginity. He would have been about 15 or 16 at the time. She would have been about 21 or 22. He ended up leaving, going into the military. They had a big falling out about it. They ended up becoming friends again. We moved into the same area, and my other brother, James, and I would both go over there and hang out at Donna's house. It was before Bobby Jean was born, and they'd let us smoke pot and we'd drink or whatever. And when I was about 15, my brother James, just out of the blue, he said, "Hey, little sister, I think I have a kid." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, it's with an older Mexican lady and she's married." And I was 15. I didn't think much about it. I told him, "You're going to get shot. You need to quit messing with that." Didn't think much about it. Well, a few years later, he died. And honestly, I've been trying to find out.
How old was he when he died?
He was 19, almost 20.
How did he die?
In a suspicious house fire. He was murdered, sir.
So sorry to hear that. And what type of conversations have you had with anyone in her family or in the community that gave you the impression or kind of reinforced your thoughts?
I found a picture that you can see on page 2 there of my brother holding Bobby Jean when she was a baby, and it just slammed me like a ton of bricks. I was like, that looks like a proud papa holding a baby, not like this is my mom's friend's kid. And it just hit me then. And that was about 2 years ago. And I started looking on Facebook and trying to find them. I actually found Donna before she passed away last year, spoke with her, and she denied it.
Okay.
But she didn't say I never had sex with James. She and didn't say that she thought it was wrong or anything. Her response was that she wished she could leave a legacy like that.
Young lady, why don't you give me some background on this issue?
I honestly had first heard about it back in February of last year when Heather contacted me through Facebook. She found me on Facebook and we had spoken briefly, and then the next time she had called me is when she told me, she was like, "I'm going to be blunt about it. I think you're James's daughter."
Yeah, what pretense did she reach out to you on Facebook? Just a stranger wanting to say hi, or did you already know each other?
Her message was, "I don't know if you remember me or not, but I'm Jean's daughter. Your mom took care of my mother before she passed away."
Okay. All right, and your discussions were kind of surrounding just general conversation the first time.
Yeah.
And how much later did she tell you she's going to be honest and blunt and she thinks you might be her niece?
It was probably about a week or so later.
Okay. How did she say it? That's just like we said, huh? I'm going to be blunt and honest.
Yeah.
And what was your response?
I was like, well, kind of at a loss for words. Like, I don't really know what to say here.
Wow.
Because you grew up in your household with whom you knew to be your father, correct?
Well, I didn't grow up with him. Him and who I believe to be my biological father, him and my mother had separated when I was 3 years old. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't see him again until I was 10. And that was the last time that I've seen him.
How do you feel about it?
I don't know. Like I had told her, and I'd rather, and I know it sounds crass, but I'd rather have a father who's passed than one that abandoned me.
Hmm. When is the last you heard of the father that's still alive, or the presumed father?
The last I had heard about him was when I was 18, and he had gone back to my hometown and had left a phone number with my godparents. And I never was able to receive that number.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, your mom, what has she ever told you about this?
I had questioned my paternity when I was younger.
Why?
For the simple fact that my presumed biological father is an extremely dark Hispanic man, and clearly I am not. And I know that she was of mixed race as well. She was half white, half Hispanic as well, but I should have been darker, especially the way the rest of my family was. And so I had asked her, I was like, is he truly my father, or were you messing around? And she was like, no, I could tell you exactly the day I got pregnant. I know he's your father. Like, there's no doubt about it.
And is that the last time you questioned it, when you was a little girl? That's the last time you said something?
I had questioned it a few more times throughout the years. And of course, she just always denied it, said that there was no possibility that it could have been anybody else.
And I guess I can see you questioning it, particularly if he had abandoned you.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to question it then. You don't feel that you always have much resemblance, and he abandoned you. Yeah, you might have been, if nothing else, wishful thinking. It may or may not be the case, but you might have been, I hope this deadbeat is my daddy. I don't mean to call it this deadbeat, but if you don't have a problem talking about him, neither do I. So, how about you or your other relatives, ma'am? Any discussions? What have they said?
They think I'm crazy.
Because they don't think
I was the only one that James ever told he thought he had a kid, and it's been 30-something years. They're like, why the hell are you bringing this up now? But I had brain cancer, and I had a near-death experience. And you might think I'm crazy, but it has me seeing stuff different and more clear. And I think I'm right.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Anything else? Any other comments or questions? Before
The only other comment I have, Your Honor, is that my mother was a very big fan of yours.
Oh, is that right? God bless her. Oh.
I would like to say thank you too as well, Judge Mathis. I appreciate your help in this case.
Thank you.
And I've already told Bobby that I'd love to be a part of her life. Her mother did a lot to help me. When I got pregnant, my mom kicked me out. Her mother took me in. Her mother took care of my mother when she was dying of cancer. And I want to be a part of her life either way.
Yeah. Always know that you all, whatever the result is, you can maintain whatever relationship you want. Aunt, niece, whatever the case might be. In my opinion, relations is not based on blood. So it's all
You
about.
saying she's not blood?
Yeah, she's not.
All right.
But the attachment should be just as strong. I have a cousin, and I grew up thinking he was kind of like a first cousin, but I later learned he was like a third cousin. But his mom helped me when my mother was passing of cancer, and I was just me and my mom. And his mother moved in for the last 2 months because I had just started college. I feel gratitude to him, even though he's not first cousin like I thought. But that didn't affect the relationship at all, one bit. What did continue to bind us was the good deed his mother did for mine, and the fact that we grew up together and around each other also helped. But it didn't affect the relationship. That's my point. The only difference, I hope you don't do her like he does me. He has never let me forget. Not that part. He doesn't say anything about that part, about his mom taking care of mine. He has never said that. But he talks about how he helped me. You wouldn't be nothing if it wasn't for me.
He even tells me.
That's right. That's right. He tells Doyle, you wouldn't be nothing if I didn't intervene in Greg's life when he was 18.
That's right.
And one of them, my first cousins, was president of a university at that time and wouldn't let me in. I don't blame him. I was a straight up thug, so you can't rely just because I've been out of jail for 7 months. And no, I probably wouldn't have done it either if I was president of a university. You'll come up here and ruin my presidency. So, Mr. President, your nephew or your first cousin is ripping everything up out here. You're going to have to leave. So he might have did right. However, my point is, blood doesn't necessarily mean stronger attachment. All right? God bless you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Bobby. Oh, I love you anyway, Bobby. Sorry.
Love you
I'm
too.
crazy.